Hello YouTube, hello migtow, hello redpill, this is redpill in the wind. I'm actually early for my delivery, it's about 2 hours early, so wasn't supposed to be there till like 9. Now, this is gonna be up on the Come Home to the Redpill channel. It's gonna be a little documentary on me. Now, I've had a lot of experiences that in modern times would turn that if a lot of kids knew about, if migtow was so widely known, would turn as it is today with the internet, it would turn a lot of young boys migtow. Just with one of these experiences alone. Now, my experience starts when I was young. And starts little games that kids would play, or prepubescents would play, called hide and go get it. And all of these women, all of these young, all of my peers of the opposite gender, would play this game called hide and go get it. When it came to me seeking, they were special forces, Delta Force, snipers, scout snipers. When it came to seeking, they were blind as a bat. And avoidant. I could literally hide on the road and not be found. But when they found the dude that they desired, they were able to go get it. From a young age. That told me something right there. Should have told me something right there. So after a couple games, I realized that whenever the hide and go get it is mentioned, it is a sign for me to go home. In elementary school, I've admitted to a crush multiple times I was declined. That seems to be a progressive thing of my life. Until high school. Now, continuing on, that each one of the time that happened, that took a blow, that dealt a blow. In elementary school, my mother died. The teachers knew that something wasn't right. Something wasn't right. Just leave me alone. And it was a downward spiral. And fifth grade, final year, going into 6th grade. Decided to roll the window up. Final year of school. And a final year of elementary school, going into 6th grade, I understood a lot of things. And toward my middle of the 6th grade year, I had one last crush, but got played. And I began training my mind to not even look, to not even bother looking, to not even bother with looking. To avoid disappointment. They still didn't pursue, but I still didn't look. I still didn't try anymore. Because in my mindset, what's the point? There wasn't any point to trying at that point. And every time I saw somebody that manages to impress me, yet again, here I am getting played again. But before that, I was slotted to go to a school for musically talented kids. Problem is, I couldn't read music. That, on top of my mother dying, that was another blow that was dealt. Was another blow dealt to whatever confidence that I left out elementary school with. And the many things that I've gone through in middle school. By the time I entered high school, my confidence, my appearance, based on my confidence, and my disposition was at an all-time record low. It was at an all-time low. And with it being at an all-time low, it was just nothing more than me just floating through life. I still trained my mind not to bother looking, but I increased it to, even if the person manages to impress me, don't even bother approaching. In high school, don't bother approaching, don't bother looking, don't ask anybody else to the dance or on a date. Once I started my job after getting run through the coals in high school, or watching other people get run through the coals in high school, jokingly asking, or not even seriously, just basically half-heartedly asking women out on a date, expecting that answer, and getting that expected answer, just to shut people up. Just to shut people up. yeah, just to shut people up and just continue on about my life. Another dramatic experience, another thing is when my mother died before I was about a year before I entered elementary school. About fourth into fifth grade. For a whole year, the downward spiral began to go. But before that, we were supposed to be going to a wedding. My mother, before I left, my mother was in a hospital. One of those things where they put a tube, where they have to cut a tube in your neck for you to breathe. Now, my mother wasn't the same. She was still caring, but her voice was gone based on that tube. She said better to try to put me and my sister at ease. And did it work? I guess it worked for a little while. Then we got home and my mother died. Couldn't cry at the funeral because I was all out of tears. I didn't have any tears left. Years went by. Grandmother died. Family wouldn't see me when I was going through my worst. And I was literally right across the street from them. Cousins, uncles, aunts. And they were right across the street from me. The only people that I saw was my sister, who visited me regularly. Right across the street from me. Yeah, But continue on in the high school. Yeah, I just basically went through the same old motion. Even though that by my 7th grade, I got carted out to a private school that had people similar to me. I've had a few people that I resonated with, but because of the experiences that I've been through in a regular public school, I couldn't find it within myself. I still kept training my mind to not look, not approach, but it's what it is. Sometimes you gotta train your mind not to do certain things, even though it's your biological imperative. Got a little bit of the confidence back in the Marine Corps. Got a little bit of the confidence back in the Marine Corps by the time my A school. Actually, by the time my first MOS, I started talked to one person. This person was already married. Was already married. Get to the A school of a new MOS because, hey, it's what it is. Flunking out of one MOS is not bad enough. So I get a second MOS because, again, same problems plaguing me from middle school. which could essentially goes hand in hand, math and music, plagued me with this MOS. I was darn near the star player if it wasn't for the math. I get to my next A school, find a person that I'm interested in. There's a high chance that I can actually find a duty station with that person. So I have a conversation with this person. This person's a great person, dealing with a jackwagon of a boyfriend. And what do I get? I get told that I see you as a friend, and it was awkward. I was there for this person through thick and thin, and I learned about the friend zone. How I learned about the entry level of the friend zone. In the military. So that puts me halfway there to where the trauma, where I'm not even bothering trying to talk. So I go through the C school with an awkward, because the person was there that I was interested in didn't, and she likes jackwagons of men. And then I get to the fleet, the Marine Corps ball, right months before the Marine Corps ball. Turns out that you can actually sleep in the same bed, and this person sees you as a friend. You know, this person sees you as a friend. That right there was another blow to my confidence. You know, that was so hardly worked for since boot camp. So hardly worked since boot camp. And down the drain. Down the drain. My work life before the Marine Corps, I got another blow because the person was lesbian. Well, that wasn't really a blow. I was just doing it to shut everybody else up. I was just doing it to shut everybody else up. You know, I was just doing it to shut everybody else up. You know, man. Like I said, after that is like but back to the Marine Corps, the last section of the Marine Corps. For months this went on, this quote unquote friend zone relationship went on. Not once did I get more than sleeping in the same bed. Last week of her being there, or last 2 weeks, she called me a liar and told me to get back with her when I figured it out. For years, for the last few months of my Firewatch, that was the last section I ever checked on my tour, my Firewatch tour. Because every time I walked past that door, that was painful. That was painful. Her roommate saw that what a decent person I was, and tried to console me. Tried, but the damage is already done. The damage was already done. It's already sunk in right there, right then and there. And when that damage was sunk in, it did. I mean, it was what it is. So for years, I was wondering what I did wrong up until I got onto my deployment. I tripped over migtow Savior's channel, but his stuff was hard. Was really hard. Especially dealing with the things that I've dealt with. I had to come to grips with a lot of things in my life. I had to pretty much not be... I had to overcome a lot of hardship. And I got a feeling that when I buy this house for myself and with the people that were there for me, everybody's going to come out of the woodworks. Everybody's coming out the woodworks for some dumb crap. All the past friend zones that I've been in, and I'm going to tell every last one of them no. If they do, I don't suspect it. I don't expect it. But if they do, the answer is going to be no. I'm not bringing anybody into my life. I don't care who you are. I don't care. I'm just not bringing anybody else in my life. Trucking school. And fast forward, I was a security officer. Then I went on a deployment. I witnessed my first Dear John text from somebody else. Somebody had a Dear John text. Land in Jordan. I get a taste of the red pill reality. I get literally slapped in the face with the red pill reality. And I'm literally binge watching on my deployment migtow and red pill content. That's how much pain I was in. That's how much pain that I was carrying. I was binge watching people like migtow Savior. I was binge watching people like RPW, Mr. Elite, a whole bunch of other people. That was when I first used my real name. One of the last times I used my real name. I was binge watching this. I was binge watching red pill migtow content. And once I got back home, well, throughout the whole time, people in my unit were seeing me, listening to me binge watch migtow and red pill content, and they didn't like it. This is not all women are like that. Not all women are like that. Like, okay, that's what you think. That's your thought process. My thought process is different. What I've been through is different. you know. But when I came home to being a delivery driver, before I came home, friend tried to save me because he knew that like overseas I'm exposed to a lot of things, a lot more content on social media, and he put me on to a nurse who was dating a piece of trash, who's now still dating a piece of trash, and now this piece of trash whoops her behind. Oh well. Oh well. It's her problem. A single mother too. And what did her in was basically she had an irresponsible one night stand with somebody else, and I said no, not happening. Not gonna happen. I'm not gonna deal with somebody who's gonna be that irresponsible in life. So I continue on, get home, do the delivery dance, freaking pizza delivery routes, and the ugly truth comes out about the general manager. She ain't the best general manager. She ain't the best general manager. Yeah, whatever. She ain't the best general manager. And her friend is a freaking airhead. So I eventually get try for my A&P, and that falls literally miserably falls through. And I go for my CDL, commercial license. I get that. But on the way, it's like I get a wake-up call, like, oh, I get a wake-up call that the chick I kind of like didn't date black men. Good thing I didn't ask. Would be disappointed. I've had that before. Once every maybe decade, I go. Once every maybe 5 years, I might ask a chick that I'm interested in, and so lo and behold, they don't date black men, even though the person's black and we have the same interest. They just don't date black men. I've had to go through this and deal with it, you know. Now I'm a content creator with migtow and redpill. Y'all know this. Y'all know the rest. Y'all know the rest. I had to claw myself up, and I haven't asked a woman on a date ever since, because I already know what I'm going to get, and quite frankly, it's not worth it to me anymore. You know, it's not viable or beneficial. Here I am, 35, almost 35 years old, and haven't had any success in relationships. So I had to accept what I got and move on. It is what it is. I've had to accept it and move on with my life. And yeah, I did troll a few women, and it's what it is. It's like I've pretty much not tried to date ever since. Not tried to get close. I know that if I even basically what it is like I can't get in a relationship without some severe cost. It is what it is I'm not getting into a relationship without some extreme cost. There's a lot of cost. There's a lot of extreme costs that I've got to go through to even date, that I've had to accept. I've had to accept that the cost analysis is not in my favor. And will never be in my favor. Ever. Now, there may come a time where somebody might try to prove themselves, but they're not gonna get my full trust. They're not gonna get my emotions anymore. I've accepted the fact that, hey, women are just gonna be women. They may not all be like that, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter, if I let myself feel anything for one split second, it's over. I had to come to grips with that. And I also had to come to grips with there's a potential that I'm probably going to die single and alone. Most people would see that and be moaning at me. No, I just basically see that and I live with it, you know. I have to replenish some salts. Pickle juice. I had to see that and get over it. It's just what it is. I was not in a beneficial situation, and I'm not going to be in a beneficial situation for a relationship. It's just that simple. This is Red Pill in the Wind. I'll leave you with that. I'm also known as migtow in the Wind. Signing off.